Model Boat Building. I thought I'd show you the mess I've just made. I've just decided I've picked up a transceiver. I've picked up remote control, part of the equipment, but unfortunately, speaking to the professional, the motor that I've got in there, which is an old gearbox motor, which is off an old type of racing car, I've had to pull it out, and pulling it out has just been unbelievable. It's been in there for 20 odd years. It's working, but the gearing is just too hard to run batteries. So what I've decided on doing is demolishing, and I mean demolishing. You'll see there's not much left. I've got the machine on there. I'll just show you, and that's what's left of the engine bay. This is bits of parts that I've just broken off. I've had to grind off. I can't, underneath here, underneath the full rudder area, I've got a metal bush, and I can't get to the bush. The screw was rusted and burred, and it's been that old. So now I'm going to cut through here, and hopefully I'll have a shaft out of it anyway. It's something to use. But that's the leftovers of all the gearbox. All this timber here, I'm going to have to rip all this out and start from scratch. After talking to the professional at the model shop in Mornington, which is Melbourne, Victoria here, he's come up with this great idea. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you got to get the velocity right, you got to get the gearing right, you got to, like, just lost me completely. I'm not right into electronics. I build a few things with electronic gear, but unfortunately I'm not a genius when it comes to circuit boards, etc. But I've got the transceiver and receiver, everything there. I've just got to get a battery supply off him now, and hopefully I have got a motor here somewhere. This is what's left of it. So when I pull things apart, I pull things apart. So and after today, after thank you so much, Joel, on YouTube. I've had so many remarks and so many comments, so many people that have subscribed, so thank you very much. But I'm not a demolisher. For all you Filipino people, you probably cry at this when you see things that are expensive and you have to cut them up. But I've learnt, and I'm still learning. So I have a motor in there. You can still see the cog. And this motor here, I'm hoping to use that. Instead of buying a new motor, which quite expensive, they range from anything from probably $80 up to $200 odd Australian dollars. Just the transceiver, the circuit board, and the rudder control today, just on $200. So to get this thing running, it's probably going to cost me another $400, probably another $200 at least. So about $400 to get it all electronically done. But I've got to get it done. That's my aim. So I've still got to demolish the rest of this with the cutter. You're more than welcome to watch. It's going to be a short one. It's going to be a very noisy one. But we've turn this radio off here, and we might be able to sit you in there. Like so. Hopefully if it'll stand up. Excuse all the banging and thumping. But okay, we're back again. So you might have to block your ears. I've got my favourite little tool, little Lozito, and I've now got a cutting tool on it. So here we go. This little thing will cut through anything, I hope. too much noise. Whiskey, better watch the finger. Being plastic. Cut down to the metal. I don't want to damage the metal too much. Smoke. There's another cut on the other side. Like I said to you, these cutting tools are great. This sort of work. Just got to be very careful. It can be dangerous. Come right down to it. I feel like a dentist. Drilling away, and hopefully we can just break this apart. And I said hopefully. There we go. It's such a shame I have to do all this, but if I don't do it now and you have problems in the water, there we go, there's the shaft. You'll it's a long swim to go and try and retrieve your boat, and I definitely don't want to do that in Port Phillip Bay. We have very cold water here. The hottest it'll probably get up to is around about 12 degrees. Maybe on a really hot week you might get 14 if you're lucky. It's a very cold place in the bay. Now let's get some pliers. Now I don't know how I ever put this together. I cannot remember, it was that long ago, but it looks one heck of a mess. There's something in there. Like I say, when I build things, there we go. When I build things, I build them. So that was the old leftover of the wheel. And there you can see the shaft coming through here now. So we're going to put a new, there you go. We're going to put a whole new spline through here. And the reason I've taken it up so high, obviously, you've got to bring the shaft up here. We'll put the motor up on around about this height, just underneath this deck, for water. Because your water level will probably be on the outside of the ship around about here. So that means that no water can come up through the propeller shaft. Normally, of course, your propeller is long and you have bushes at the end, but I haven't got that privilege. And there's the shaft. And as you can see there, the problems that I had, it's a bush, but it's got a screw. Great idea, but the screw's been burred. And obviously, because I've had it in water before, it's rusted. And they're the sort of bushes you really need. So I'll have to get some more of those, or something a little bit different. And I can probably still use some of these bits and pieces. Definitely not these, but I was interested in the cogs because if you remember, and we'll pop that back up here now so you can actually see my wrinkles and see my face. With the cogs, what we were talking about originally in vlog 3, 4, is that I've got little motors off a drone, and of course the drones run very fast. So if I can slow that down by removing the small cog on that little motor, and the motors are only probably the size of that, That's all they are. Very, very small motors, run on low volt, so I can run it all on from inside the deck here, because that's two 4.7 batteries in there. So 8, we say 9 volts. Run these little motors, but I might be able to put them underneath and slow them down by putting larger cogs. So I don't know, just trial and error, and I'm happy to do that. And this is how far back it goes. To do the shaft, to get nice and smooth, I actually used a straw. So I couldn't get, in those days, I couldn't get any metal sleeves. But of course the hobby shop, he's got thousands. It's all different sizes. So like he said to me, get all the gear ready to go, measure everything up, find out what your speeds are, find out what your voltage of your motor is, the velocity of it. How I'm going to find that out, I don't know, because it's all tucked away, but I'll have a look. Get the velocity. So, in other words, so the boat's not going to go like a jet boat. It's not supposed to. So I said to him at the shop, it's got to be a slow boat. I don't need it fast. I've already got two motors for the next project for the for my pilot boat. So they're going to be two twin engines, and that's going to be fast as. That's going to be really, really quick. And I can use the same controller. I've got a 3-channel controller, so all I have to do is click from one channel to the next, bang, away you go. And I'll just need a new receiver board, and that's it in the new boat, which hopefully I'm going to buy a boat, pull it all apart and use electronics out of that, and then rebuild all the hull. So there we are. Never throw little bits and pieces out like this. You never know what you could use it for. It's a little, this was a swivel for the gearbox. So just different things like that I always keep. Of course this is all rubbish now. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm about to now pull this motor apart, have a look at her inside, see what she's like. I can make a mess in here because I'm going to pull all this out in a moment. This motor runs very well. I'm surprised, really surprised. Very noisy gearbox, and then I realised that little toggle that I was showing you there, which wouldn't have done any good because it's a forward and reverse, and it was a high ratio, low ratio. No good in a boat. I can't go out in the water and I'll flick it over. I want it to go a bit faster. That should be done by the controller, radio controller. So here's the motor. Yeah, pretty big. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's got a capacitor on it, so that's even going to speed it up a bit more. So I believe if I can get this shaft off here, or better still, get another spline to go over the top of that and just do a bit of bronzing. I'll get another sleeve, slip that over the top, and there is the shaft for the next for the prop. But I think this is going to be too fast. I'll show you. We'll plug it in and just have a look. I'll just use one of the batteries, just excuse me. I'm only using a 4.7 battery. But of course, what you've got to think about is, and I did come across a couple of other boat builders, model boat builders, so I'm really going to pick their brains, and hopefully they can help out with what I'm doing. Oh, she's pretty fast and quiet. Just about jumping out of my fingers here, sorry. Now that's only on a 4.7 4 point, or is it, sorry, okay, come on, number 4.7, 3.7, Leon, so they're rechargeable. So 3.7, so that's only 7.4, so that's only running 7.4, two of these, 7.4 batteries. So I won't be able to find out exactly what the voltage is, but they normally recommend you can go up to about 9 volt with these type of motors. And the other motor that I was hoping to put in is water cooled. That's going into the new Craft, it's water cooled. So I've actually got to build a tank because you can't put them in seawater. More problems. So when I do build the hull, I'm going to put a water container inside, so it's running fresh water and pumping fresh water through the water cooled motor. It'll be a brushless. They're both two motors being brushless, which means they're a little bit more expensive, but they'll last for years. They'll probably outlast me. But yeah, that's so much quieter. Before it was really grindy, and you can see just by touching it how fast it's going. So that might be alright, up to around about 9 volt. I'll try 9 volt on it, because you've got to remember that, and they're quite smart in the hobby shops. This guy I'm speaking to is Korean, and his offside is actually Filipino. So it's amazing how many Filipinos I've been bumping into with these sort of things. Anyway, yeah, he's talking about velocity, but you've got to remember, once you've got this prop shaft in the water with a propeller, you're causing friction, and quite a lot. So you don't want to burn your motor out, you don't want to drain your batteries and find out that it's 500 metres out and you've got to get in the freezing cold water and go and retrieve your boat because of flat batteries. That's going to be my major issue. I've got to have enough power to run this motor for probably 20 minutes or half an hour. And at least this new receiver that I've got and controller, it has got a warning light on that actually tells you when your batteries are running down. So then it's time to pull the boat in, or whatever you're using, bring it back. And they do that especially with a drone. So never lost, we've still got a motor. So we'll resolder all these wires back up properly. I'll put new wires on there, solder them up, and I'll work out to get this spline off and probably put a sleeve and yeah, extend it on back onto another shaft, which should be alright. That should be long enough to get back into there, and we'll take it from there. Alright, that's all I'm going to show you at the moment. I'll continue smashing this apart. All that structure here, all this is old. It was from the old circuit boards, everything else. All this is going to come out. This will come out. I'll put a whole new platform in here because there's the old rudder. There's the receiver. So as you can see, it's only a tiny receiver. So I'll put it all onto it's got to go into a waterproof circuit board. And I've already, there we are. There's the rudder control. So I've just we've got different shapes and sizes. There's the rudder. So of course the next thing is with the rudder control is that we have to work out and position this in such a way that it either goes that way or we spin it with a position from here to here, and this will turn one way and then back the other way. So that's something that I'm going to have to wait until this is all hooked up, see how much movement I've got. On the controller you can control on how much this will move, how many degrees. So if you only want to move from that position to there, which I probably will, and back to there, that's all you need to turn the ship completely around. So that's what it is. And that little beauty was around about $60, but it's a good one, and it's completely waterproof. That's very important to have waterproof gear. I told him that I wouldn't have any water issues inside the boat unless it sunk. But, and I'm praying that it won't. But apart from that, that's it. Alright. Thanks for all your like, and don't forget, push on your like, and you can subscribe, and many comments as you like, and I'd love to type back to you, and keep in contact anyway, and see what you're all up to. As I always say, stay safe, look after yourselves, and God bless. Like